Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Turkey football. Yeah, let's look back at this Thanksgiving weekend of football. As you know, Sunday is still yet to be played. We had some very exciting games played yesterday on Thanksgiving Day, and also today. For the first time ever, the NFL had a game on Black Friday featuring the defending champions, Kansas City Chiefs. They're at home. They faced the Raiders. We're going to get into that game, but before so, we're going to go back and look at the games from yesterday. As you know, we had a triple header yesterday. The first game featured the Detroit Lions. They took on the Chicago Bears with that precocious rookie, Caleb Williams, and that game came down to a very frightening end for Lions fans, as after opening a big lead early in the first half, they had to stave off a late attempt by the Bears to tie the game. And as a matter of fact, if not for poor clock management, the Bears probably could have had a chance to win that game or at least force overtime. And as you know, the result of that was that head coach Matt Eberflus, he was fired today. Obviously had to be fired because, first of all, after the game, he did not even take ownership of the poor clock management. He talked about it was the right decision in the right moment. So that was idiotic of him. Maybe if he had owned it and say, my bad, maybe the owners would have given him a chance to coach till the end of the season. But making a statement like that today, showing no ownership of what he did, you gotta go, So that was the end of him. But overall in that game, my thoughts on that game as far as the Bears are concerned is that I see a lot of talent from Caleb, a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent there, and I'm sure there are a lot of top coaches around the league who are out of jobs, who would be chomping at the bits, wanting to get this job, because this Bear job, if I was a coach looking on, I would want a job like this, because as you know, the NFL is pretty much centered around the QB. The QB carries a lot of weight in the NFL, and Caleb is, to me, in my opinion, he's definitely a keeper. A lot of Mahomes-like talent in him, his ability to improvise, make plays, get away from the pass rush. His arm is legit, He has taken a lot of sacks this year. Some of it, he's been holding on to the ball a bit longer than he should. So, he should learn to work on that next year. But I expect with a better coaching staff coming in next year, Caleb is going to look a lot better. So the Bears have a lot to be positive about in terms of their quarterback. On the side of things for the Lions, I see some worrying signs for the Lions. Their inability to get to the quarterback in that fourth quarter there was kind of troubling. And as you know, Aiden Hutchinson, he's been out for the season, and he will be out for the rest of the season. And even though the Lions are a very scary team on offense, very scary team with the double-headed monster in the backfield, and of course, they have all kind of legit receivers with Amon St. Brown, Jameson Williams, the speedball, and of course, TJ Hawkins, Sam Laporta, the tight end. They have some legit players on that team. So it's not like they don't lack for anything on offense. I think they're the number one scoring team in the league, and they will continue to do so. But the thing I don't like about the Lions, for me, when the playoffs come around, is the fact that losing TJ is going to be a big deal. So they will have to work hard to overcome that, to beef up their defense as the playoffs come around. The other games yesterday, the second game featured the Dallas Cowboys. They went up against the New York Giants, featuring a matchup of teams who have pretty much mailed it in, because these teams are not really going anywhere. The Cowboys got the win at home, which was their first win since last year at home. So, pretty much a conciliatory win. It's not going to really achieve anything. As I said, their season has long been over. Their QB's on IR. This is a team that pretty much has a lame duck coach. I don't see any way that Mike March gets back to being on the team next year and coaching again. So it will be quite interesting to see how they finish the season. Jerry needs to make some decisions here, because in my opinion, Jerry needs to bring in a GM there. Jerry is the richest owner in the NFL. His word carries a lot of weight. His team is the most valuable team in the NFL. I should have said, not the most richest owner. I should have said his team is the most valuable, and he's the most powerful owner in the NFL. There's no doubt about that. But I think sometimes his ego gets in the way of running the team. So, I mean, he's not listening to me, obviously. But in my opinion, I think Jerry Jones honestly should get a GM in there, somebody that could really hold the day-to-day football operations together, you know, make better decisions in terms of when to let players go, when to sign them, when to re-sign them, when to bring them in. He's not a terrible talent evaluator. I think Jerry is a very good talent evaluator. I think he has drafted well. I think where Jerry has fell down in his inability to manage player contracts, like when to let him go. I thought re-signing DeMarcus Lawrence a couple years ago was a very poor contract. I don't see why he did that. You know, there's a couple other contracts there that I find questionable. You know, I remember when he gave Zeke Elliott that money, didn't work out. But yeah, I think the Dallas Cowboys next year, boy, they have a lot of work to do. And if Jerry, I honestly think, Jerry, if you're not gonna get a GM in there, somebody to help you, sell the team then, man. Sell the team to a different owner. I know you own the most expensive toy in the world, which is your special toy, the Dallas Cowboys, where you could invite ex-presidents and your friends to come over and watch the game on Sunday. But you need to run the team very competently. I mean, since Jimmy Johnson has left there, they have really fell down in terms of their personnel management, and that is my total issue. And that same thing goes to the Giants. The Giants have been a disaster. They just cut their QB, which they came into the league with. I know more than likely Brian Daboll will be fired. They have to just tear that whole operation down. There's nothing there to talk about the Giants, and I digress from that game. The final game yesterday was on the Miami Dolphins. They went into cold weather again, trying to break the curse. They went into Lambeau Field to see if they could break their curse. They had lost 7 straight games and the weather was 45 degrees and less. And last night they fell to 0-8 as they lost to the Packers. The Packers pretty much dominated that game. Miami, you know, they gave it a little fight, but as one of their players said today, it seemed like the weather really affected them, and the Packers pretty much had their way with them. So now the Packers, as you know, they're in the best division in football, along with the Lions and the Vikings. So even though they have only 3 losses, they're 9-3, but they're in 3rd place in their very own division. So they have to keep winning to stay pace. So that was a good win for them. And then finally today, you know, the defending champions, the Chiefs, they went up against the Raiders. First ever Black Friday game for the NFL, and which is another addition to the NFL schedule. You know, the NFL, of course, they're always trying to market their product and spread it and all over the place and maximize their earning dollars. So they had a Black Friday game today, and the Chiefs played a real sloppy game, an awful game, awfully coached game by Andy Reid, awfully played by Mahomes. The offensive line play was god awful. I mean, it was so atrocious that at one point in the 4th quarter they had to bring in their guard Joe Tooney to play left tackle because Wanya Morris looked like a high school kid out there. He was getting beat that much. Mahomes was sacked something like 5 times. They made a whole bunch of errors, you know what I mean? And then they actually had to survive a botched field goal, 3rd down play by the Raiders in the 4th quarter with time running down with like 14 seconds. But I'm not going to go too overboard on the Chiefs. The only worrying part of that is that their left tackle position seems very untenable with Wanya Morris over there. So they have brought in DJ Humphries, and they really is working him in. So we'll see how this goes as it develops. But the good news for the Chiefs was that they got some good players back from IR today. They got Pacheco back, and he looked great. He had the best run of the day. And matter of fact, they need it because Kareem Hunt seems a little bit worn down. They also got one of their pass rusher back, Charles Omenihu. And I don't know if it was a result of that, but Chris Jones got loose today and had a couple of sacks. So, you know, when you have another legit pass, and also George Karlaftis also had a sack. So when you have another legit pass rusher like Omenihu on the line, it's going to limit the amount of double teams that people could double team Chris Jones. And if they do double team Chris Jones, it's going to give guys like Karlaftis and Omenihu more chances to get to the QB. So there are good signs for the Chiefs. As you know, I'm not going to come down too hard on the Chiefs. The Chiefs season will all be determined in the postseason. You know, they're 10-1 now, so they clinched their playoff berth today. So nobody's going to judge the Chiefs off of the regular season anymore. You know, the Chiefs, it's all about what they do in the playoffs. So we'll see how it goes as we go along here. But that was it for the Thanksgiving holiday so far. And as you know, on Sunday we'll have a big slate of games, a lot of exciting games coming up. My personal favorite game of this weekend will feature the two presumptive MVP favorites in my mind, the both running backs, Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley. Really looking forward to that clash. I think it's the most exciting running back clash I've seen since 1995, Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith. So let's see how it goes here. And thank you for joining us for this video, ladies and gentlemen. Please like, subscribe, share, continue to support the channel, and peace until we out.